Welcome to Daily Armor. Our verse today will be found in the book of Judges, chapter number 7, looking at verse number 2. Judges 7 and verse number 2, and it says, And the Lord said unto Gideon, The people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, Mine own hand hath saved me. Maybe some of you are like myself, and when you look at your prayer list, sometimes you get a little bit overwhelmed because it seems like that so many things that you're praying about, so many things that you are waiting upon seem completely impossible. And this morning the Lord reminded me that He likes those situations where the odds are stacked against us, where it just looks like there's absolutely no way that it's going to happen. If you look here in verse number 2, the Lord is talking to Gideon. Now, if you know anything about Gideon, you will back up to chapter number 6 and look at Gideon. When the Lord saw Gideon down there threshing wheat in the winepress, he was hiding from the Midianites. He was hiding from the enemy. And he was trying to gather up some things, and he was hiding from them. And the Lord came to Gideon and told him that he was a mighty man of valor. And Gideon was like, I am the least of the tribe of Benjamin, and Benjamin being one of the smaller tribes. He was saying, I'm nothing, Lord. And the Lord was saying, I was going to use you. And here we've got this instance where it's time now. God is putting Gideon into the battle. He's fixing to send him out into the battle, but he's going up against a very, very large enemy. And Gideon has about 32,000 men gathered up with him. And the Lord's looking at these men, and he's saying, that's too many. That's too many. The odds aren't stacked very correctly. The Lord specifically put Gideon in a predicament where he sends him out with 300 men against a whole host of an enemy. Just a very, very large enemy, and he sends him out with 300 men, and that's who the Lord chose to bless, and that's the way the Lord chose to bless. So when you're looking at your circumstances, and I'm looking at my circumstances, and you're saying, Lord, there's no way this is ever going to happen. There's no way this could take place. There's no way that anything good can come out of this. There's no way. All those things, when we say, Lord, it can't, the Lord's saying, yes, it can. You have to go forth in faith and not in fear. When we look at our circumstances and situations and we say, there's no way, what we're saying is, Lord, you can't bring it to pass because the odds are stacked against us. And the Lord's saying, I like it that way. I like it that way. I want us to notice again that what happened here in verse number 3, it says, Now therefore go to, proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, Whosoever is fearful and afraid, this is not a battle for those that are fearful and afraid. So if you have a problem with fear, the Lord's going to put you in some circumstances to where you have to either flee or you have to push through that fear and keep moving forward. And that's what I'm trying to get through. I'm trying to push through some things that I'm thinking I'm trying to play it safe. And the Lord maybe wants to push me in that direction where it doesn't feel very safe. But I'm safe as long as I'm with Him and as long as I'm being led by Him. And so let's look at what happens. And here in verse 3, it says, Whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 22,000. 22,000 in this group was fearful and afraid. And the Lord can take a small remnant of those that are brave, those that are faithful, and those that will do whatever the Lord says, no matter how scary the circumstances. He can take a remnant and He can do so much more with it than a large crowd that is full of fear and just they're more busy being afraid. And I don't want to fall into that group. I want to be that group that's just that small remnant that the Lord's saying, okay, I can do something with this. I can do something with you. I can do something with your circumstances now because the odds are stacked against. Because when something takes place, you're going to know who did it. And let's move on. And I'll explain what I mean by that. If it says in verse 3, now therefore go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from Mount Gilead. And there returned to the people 22,000, and there remained 10,000. So now we got 10,000 people to work with. That sounds like a pretty small remnant compared to the 32,000 that Gideon had. But look at what the Lord says about it. In verse number 4, then the Lord said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. There's too many. Still too many. You got 10,000 against this huge amount of people, and there's still too many. Bring them down into the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, and the same shall go with thee. And of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So he's saying, I'm going to show you. There's some here, and there's some over there, and some of these are going to go, and some of these are they're going to stay behind. They're not going to go. He's going to decide. The Lord's choosing this small, even this goes from 32,000 down to 10, and Lord's saying, that's still too many. It's still too big. And he wants that really small remnant. He wants that small number. And he says, in verse number 4 again, it says, bring them down into the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, and the same shall go with thee. And whomsoever I say, it's whoever the Lord says unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So he brought down the people unto the water, and the Lord said unto Gideon, everyone that lappeth of the water with his tongue as a dog lappeth, him shalt thou set by himself. Likewise, every one that boweth down upon his knees to drink, and the number of them that lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, were 300 men, but all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. So you're saying out of these 10,000, you've got a group of 300, and then you've got the rest of the 10,000 over here. Gideon's probably thinking, okay, Lord, you're gonna let me lead with this group, and probably I'm going to send home this 300. But look at what the Lord says. And the Lord said unto Gideon, verse number 7, by the 300 men that lapped will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand, and let all the other people go, every man unto his place. The Lord's going to send him into battle with 300 men, 300 people. That's it. That's all he's going to go with. This small goes from 32,000 to 300. I imagine that Gideon was getting a little bit worried. Now, God done told him he had the victory. God said that it was going to be that way. He said that he'll take these 300, and that's what he's going to use to save them. And when we have a word from the Lord, that's what the Lord wants us to go forth on. He wants us to go forth on that word from him. No matter what the circumstances look like, no matter what the odds are against us, no matter if it's 50-50, if it's 75, if it's 90% against us, 10%, if you've got the Lord on your side and I've got the Lord on my side, then the battle is already won. And the Lord just simply wants us to go by faith, trusting in him. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he has to work with, even if it's only a small little remnant of 300 against thousands. He knows what he's doing. And there's so many things that I'm praying for and that you're praying for, and we get discouraged and we get fearful and we become afraid. Really, when you think about it, when you want the easy way out, you're being afraid. And I don't want to go forth and be afraid. And I hope you don't want to go forth and be afraid. I don't want to be that group that's sent home. I want to be that group that the Lord uses. I want to be in that 300 that the Lord's going to give the victory, because I want to see some amazing things that the Lord has in store. And the only way that we can do that is to put away that fear and move forth in faith. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.